Yes, my people, welcome to a special live episode of the warm-up in place of daily news. We're going to do a little preview before tomorrow's game against Leeds. Obviously, Turkish isn't here, but it's fine. We can
do it. We can hold the fort.
Yeah, we can
hold
it down. James, how are you? How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. How are you?
No, I've had a great weekend.
I've had a really good week. I've had a really good weekend. And I'm going to be annoying about it because it's very rare that this happens to Arsenal.
Right.
That we actually, early on, get the job done.
Right.
Nice performance. Mm-hmm. Debates of was that performance of the season and all that. Not that there have been many. And then just watch the rest of the carnage unfold.
Right.
And it's been great. Yeah. I want to enjoy it because it could be very different.
Spurs also lost as well.
Spurs lost. And we got Leicester on Saturday, so I'm just going to enjoy as much as we can. Now, I mean, even tomorrow could even be a different day. But yeah, let's see, man. I'm feeling good. How are you?
No, I'm good, man. Like you said, I had a good weekend. Obviously, Spurs also, as I just said there. Man United got bumped. There's word that Ollie may not be in a job by the end of tonight, but that's just the rumours going around so far. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but there's a lot of talk going around.
We'll keep our eye on it because it's only rumours.
Right.
But there's a lot of rumours now. And you know, the whole no smoke without fire. There's a lot of rumours that something's going to be announced tonight. So we'll keep our eye on it. And it's Man United news, but it does affect us.
100%.
Like it does impact Arsenal. And putting it bluntly, I think with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager of Manchester United, if Arsenal, and I'll throw in Everton, Leicester, Tottenham, whoever, Brighton, if they put together a run of form, they show some consistency, Man United are the team that will concede that Champions League spot. But if they bring in an Antonio Conte, a Graham Potter, I don't know who else, then that doesn't look doable anymore. So of course it matters.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't bode well. If they get Conte, with the players they have in that side, I do start to worry, I must say. Even though it will take a bit of time for them to obviously bed in with the players and the new manager, but that is someone I definitely don't want to see them have. But anyway, let's get on to what we're here for today.
Yeah.
The warm-up ahead of Leeds. Let me ask you, let's start, because this is potentially one of the main cups that we can potentially win. So how important is it for you as a fan and people watching? Obviously, you're in the comments. Let us know, how important is it for you, this game, and how serious should we be taking it as a side? Two different questions.
It's difficult because I place trophies in terms of importance above, dare I say, anything really in the league, as long as. It's hard to explain. So okay, let me break it down. The best way I can do it is using examples, and we've done this on previews ahead of cup ties before. Man United in 2019-20 finished in the top four. Actually, they finished third. We won the FA Cup. Now, the kind of the mainstream thing of the last 10 years has been to say that Man United had a better season than us.
Yeah.
Maybe in terms of performances, results, consistency, direction of travel, all that, you could say, yeah. But for that season, Arsenal have something to remember it by, and that is the FA Cup. Man United got into the Champions League that year, finished third in their group, dropped to the Europa League and lost in the final, so it counted for nothing. Did it actually count for nothing? United fans will argue that, you know, it helped them attract better players and is a sign of progression, and I understand all that, but kind of ultimately, unless you do anything with it, it doesn't really matter. But the FA Cup always will. So it's a really difficult one because I don't want to see Arteta resting players really when, you know, resting players for cup ties because we could do something in the league, because we can do something in the league.
Right.
But it is a difficult one. Like, I understand why you have to prioritise at times. Without European football, though, this should be a little bit easier.
It should be a lot easier, and I think there's the same on that argument there of, like, people debate about Ole, Arteta and Nuno managers. What would you have them? Who's better? And I go by, well, Arteta's won the FA Cup. He has a trophy. Those other two managers don't. Yes, form-wise, they might be higher up in the table, but when it comes to who's got something to show for it, Arteta does. So I hear what you're saying. I think we should be taking it serious. And I want to know, let me ask this question to you, all right? Tomorrow, would you rather we lose but win against Leicester on Saturday, right? Oh yeah, or we win and we win, or we win tomorrow and then, I don't know, let's say, we lose tomorrow but we win or draw against Leicester. Did I question that?
No, you've butchered it. But
That's always.
it's basically which would you rather win?
Right. It's very simple.
Martinelli on the right and Martinelli on the left.
Presenting
For anyone
101.
who's not seen the warm-up before.
Presenting 101 with Cecil G, but yeah.
What a question. Before I answer it,
Go on.
some people are saying it already. Matthias says he'd rather have top 4. Henry, I think, agrees with my point, but says that this is the Carabao Cup, so it's not quite the same. I understand that. Rima says, what is he on about? Fair enough.
Top 4, I think top 4 is, for me, it's mathematically yes, but it's out of question for me. Top 6 kind of where we could end up with what I've seen so far.
Yeah, but top 4's not out of the question. That's the thing.
What I said, mathematically you can, but for realistically, the teams, are you saying that for what we've seen from the top 4, the big 4?
Do you know what? I'm gonna be a little bit rude here. It's actually a stupid question, and the reason I say that is because we don't have European football. And because we don't have European football, we're talking about a handful of extra games on top of our league games anyway, because obviously the FA Cup's not started. If you're a Chelsea or a Man City or a Liverpool or a Man United, or even a West Ham, because West Ham went to Old Trafford and rotated, then they would be looking at, well, do we really need to risk our better players when we're in a title race, when we've got a really good shot at top 4, when we've also got Thursday night Europa League, or Wednesday night Liverpool just play Atletico Madrid before going to Old Trafford. Right. Then the question becomes kind of relevant. But for us, we're talking like we've got our Premier League games, and it's, we've got kind of one other game now that isn't to do with the Premier League. Shall we heavily rotate? Would we rather win this and that? Yeah. I get what you're asking, because it's about trying to understand how much this matters to us. But the Carabao Cup's such a funny competition because no one is really too bothered until you get to the latter stages, and with every round you get through, you want it more. And trust me, when you get to that final, I wouldn't say it matters as much as any other game, but it's right up there. It's a bit like the Europa League. No one wants to be in it, but we all saw Saeed and Soph when they were on the Don Robbie channel for that final, how devastated they were to lose it. Because once you get there, it hits different.
Yeah,
so
it hurt the Man United fans. But again, it's a
exactly.
trophy.
We've been talking a lot about Man United, but it's just good examples.
But it's a trophy,
you get my point.
James. It's something that I've just said Arteta over the 2 other managers because he has a trophy. Yes, I may not think he's the guy, but he's got a trophy. That's what everyone kind of wants. So you say it's a silly question, Paul. Are you saying that at this stage, or you just think in general?
It's silly because ultimately the question about whether you should, how important it is, whether you should rest, that's always derived from the fact that there are other much bigger games. Okay. So if you're Liverpool, you just played Atletico Madrid away, you've just gone to Old Trafford, you've bagged 2 wins, but you're thinking, we don't need to play Salah on Tuesday or Wednesday night. I don't know who they've got, but then that's when the question becomes relevant. I think for us, we're playing so infrequently at the moment that about, I want to win both. As simple as that. I want to win both because we should win both.
The argument with Liverpool is flawed because it's Liverpool and they have other midweek games because they've got more cup competitions. But for us, this is the cup that we kind of right now got our eyes on until FA Cup starts. And I think Premier League, we're out of the run for the Premier League.
That's another clever way of putting it because that's the other side of things. The other side is we can't really win anything else. Yeah. So the Carabao Cup holds importance. For Liverpool, Champions League, Premier League, even FA Cup. Right. So for them it's like, forget this, we'll play whoever and see. But we're not them. But I'm flipping it, I'm looking at it from a different angle, which is we play so infrequently, we should just be demanding winning both. Okay. So the question, but it's always, I mean, what we say.
It's good.
Steve saying we can win the cup. Shirley saying don't forget the Charity Shield, mate. Of course. Henry says, please, for the love of God, give Saka a rest. We're going to be building our 11s again. Your thoughts on that as well. DB says same lineup that we had against Villa, and we'll win against Leicester. That would be interesting as well. Best in the World says, thank you, James. I didn't want to sound rude. I think that's maybe when I said that. It's a bit of a stupid question, really. Maybe, I don't know. Favour says, I prefer to have both, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. Chaitanya says, keep the same midfield of Partey and Sambi Lokonga. They need more games to gel. Quality, Liverpool rip the United midfield apart. Need to prepare for the same in mind. Yeah, obviously, we've got them coming forward.
All right, well.
Yeah, I just thought,
we should be.
It's always important. The Carabao Cup is
We spent a lot of time debating this one.
we do, but like
What if
I
we win?
promise
If we win
you-
it, where do we get? Do we get the Europa Conference?
yeah, I know.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So we get the Europa Conference. Okay, so
I promise you, if we get to that final, we're all waking up. It's final day, and we've got face paint, we've got our shirts on, and we're going.
Whoa! You might have the face paint and all
We've
that.
got face paint. We're going to Wembley. We're wearing our yellow ribbons. Like, if we get to that final, no matter who we're playing, it matters. But it's just about how much you're willing to sacrifice en route to get there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
So yes, and then Johnson's just come in here, says we can win both, and yeah, absolutely. That's kind of the main.
The message that you're trying to get across.
And I know when we do all these previews, whenever we talk about Carabao Cup games, it's always that same old boring discussion of how much does it matter?
Yeah.
But this is different because we're playing Leeds, who are a good side. We're going to get your take on Leeds in a sec. We've got some other big Premier League clashes, so you know some big boys are going to get knocked out.
Yeah.
And but I'm talking Premier League sides are going to lose their place. And a win and we're in the quarterfinals. So that's why kind of, as I said, with every game it matters a little bit more. So it's always interesting to see whether our thoughts have kind of changed.
Okay.
But I want silverware, ultimately.
Of course, and I think that's, as a fan base, I'm sure that's what everyone should want as well.
Yeah.
Let's look at Leeds. Obviously, we're an Arsenal channel. We do research of all football, but we're not obviously no Leeds experts. I'm sure there'll be Leeds fans potentially rather in the chat or watching this back later. Much on Leeds so far. For me, they haven't started the season well at all. I believe they only won one game. They lost 5. They're missing a lot of key players. I think that really has affected them massively. So I think Luke Ayling's out potentially for tomorrow. Patrick Bamford as well. Rafinha, who was going to be my danger man, a player that I really like, very direct. He's out. He limped off in the game on the weekend. Yes.
I'll be honest, I'm very unclued up on Leeds at the moment. I watch a little bit, but
yeah.
Okay, so that did you say Calvin Phillips as well is missing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's likely to be unavailable as well. So a lot of players that kind of are the structure of Leeds are out. Like I said, they're Patrick Bamford as well, Luke Ayling, and like you just said, they're Calvin Phillips. They haven't been great. They obviously adopted this high press tactic through under Bielsa, which last season I think worked at a sense. They did it right in the season, but teams have caught onto their style of play. They can't understand how to kind of pick holes and pockets of space when people press, and they do a man-for-man press. This is one thing that it's easy to beat a man-for-man press, because once one player beats their man, there's space opens up, and that's how many teams have beaten Leeds. If you go back and watch some of the highlights and some of their games, that's how it is. They lose out on their 1-to-1, and then the attacking team normally go on and score. So. Yeah, Leeds.
They're a funny team.
They are. I'm not too worried about them. I am worried about their pressing, because I know I just spoke about it and I said that is one of their weaknesses. However, when it comes to Arsenal, we love to play out the back. Out the back. we continue to play out the back, and I think I'm worried about if it goes wrong, we could get caught. But we should have the manpower and the attacking ability to. I'm
looking at their results now. Obviously, they drew with Wolves, a very late penalty, salvaged them a point. They lost at Southampton. They beat Watford 1-0. They lost at home to West Ham 2-1. They drew at Newcastle.
Yeah, a lot of draws.
Liverpool did a job 3-0. They drew at Leeds. They drew at home with Everton 2-2, and then they got absolutely destroyed by Man United at Old Trafford. That's actually not a difficult run for Leeds. No. And I think that's the really strange thing. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, I would back Leeds to maybe even win against Everton at home. I'd back them to do something against Burnley. Okay, they got a point. But Burnley and Newcastle away, I'd expect them to win one of those. West Ham at home, I'm thinking at least a point.
Yeah, at least a point.
They played really good football last year. You know, Leeds beating Watford 1-0 at home, that feels underwhelming.
Yeah, to lose to Southampton as well, yeah, that for me was a surprising result as well.
You know, Southampton aren't all that so far this season. They're a funny side because under Bielsa, I really stood up for Bielsa and Leeds last season because there's kind of two sides of the debate. What do you fall on? Are you the kind of guy who appreciates that Bielsa is trying to play great football, is going to try and score lots of goals? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but they're going to entertain you. And then other people who said it's unacceptable to go to your biggest rivals, Man United, and get destroyed 6-2 in the way they did. It's not okay to be as open as they are. But that style of football,
that's what it comes with,
is the reason they went to the Etihad and won 2-1.
Yeah.
It's the reason. I mean, they completely outplayed us. I think they drew with Chelsea as well at Ellen Road. They went to Leicester and won 3-1. It is win some, lose some.
Yeah.
I think Bielsa knows that it's so extravagant, it's so high press, it's so high intensity, it's so overwhelming that if you're not really on it, you might get destroyed. You might get absolutely smashed 5 or 6-0. But when you do get it right, you might beat a Leicester 3-1.
Yeah.
And that's what's so interesting about Leeds, that you don't really know what you're going to get from them. But this season, the results, because again, I've not watched too much of them, the results are really underwhelming.
Do you think they are suffering, sorry to cut you, from the lack of the players that they're missing as well, those key players?
Well, of course. I mean, Rafinha and Phillips are superb players. Who else did you say was just them two? Was there anyone else? But
Patrick Bamford as well.
Bamford, right.
Luke
So
Ayling.
you're arguing, Luke Ayling, we know is the leader in that back four, and then you're arguing that Phillips, Rafinha, and Bamford are their 3 best players.
Right.
So of course that makes a difference. Of course, and we're assuming they're not going to be fit for the game tomorrow. Well, that obviously makes a difference. I just wonder whether Leeds might, ahead of tomorrow night, rotate a little bit, decide that, I'm looking here, they've got Norwich on Sunday at 2 p.m. Yeah, there's a nice break there, but I just wonder whether they'll think Norwich away, then they've got Leicester at home, then Tottenham away, then Brighton away, then Palace at home, then Brentford at home. That's an okay run for them. I just wonder whether they'll just think, this isn't too important, let's keep everyone fit for what looks an okay run of games in the Premier League for them. So yeah, and then the question is whether we rotate, and that's what we're going to debate in a sec now.
That's the next thing. It's now is the starting 11, James. Who do you pick in this game?
Yeah.
Who starts for you off the back of obviously the win against Aston Villa, a run actually from Mikel Arteta, unbeaten so far in his last couple of games. So it's time to pick who would you start? Who do you rotate in now? Arteta's been criticised, me personally, last season, the FA Cup. When he over-rotated, he changed 7 players and we suffered for that. We lost, we got kicked out of the FA Cup, which I think we bombed out, if I'm honest. I really want the players to take pride in it. I want Arteta to take it seriously. He's won FA Cups with Arsenal. He knows how serious of a cup it is for us as a fan base as well. But he over-rotated and got it completely wrong. Now, so I'm not saying Leeds is the pinnacle tomorrow, but I expect some people to be rotated in, but not crazy changes. I want to be able to win the game. We should be able to go and win comfortably tomorrow. So you've got the app up there. We've got
the app, guys. We're going to build this on AFTV VIP. If you've not got VIP, what have you been doing? Go to aftv.mobi. You can add to your home screen. There's loads of free features, but there is exclusive content for $2.99 a month. You get access to all sorts of exclusive content. Top Squad. I need to call it Top Game because someone called it Squad Game and it's thrown me. Play Top Squad with us. We play every game day. It's on the Don Robbie app as well. Get involved. You can build your 11s, tag us, let us know who you would play. But we're going to break this down in the comment section here as well. Send us your starting 11s so we know what you guys are going for, and we'll start.
There's going to be a big debate on this, guys. I really want everyone watching and listening to get involved in this one, only because we're going to debate it. And I've seen the chef there already straight away says Pepe shouldn't start. That's for sure?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Now, all right, we'll go through it. It's going to be a big debate. Oh, first, let's start with the formation. You've got a 4-3-3 there. I went 4-4-2 off the back of what we saw against Villa.
Just before we do... here we go. It's up on screen. Okay, so...
this is... Sorry, I get really... Sorry, you know me.
he gets excited when the production team do their job.
I'm so sorry. That's sick, though.
But thanks, guys. Right, formation. That's the big one.
Right. For me, why is it a big one? 4-4-2. The reason... Wait, sorry, I have to make sure I say it right. 4-4-2, James. Don't argue with me because you're going to argue with me. I know you are. But when you've come off the back of a win like that at Aston Villa, you want to start to get the players in the mindset of, listen, every week we're going to try and use this formation, this style of play. It worked very well against Villa. People have been saying it in all their fan accounts, the best performance of the season. So I wouldn't say to change it. When we're in attack, 4-4-2. When we're in defence, which we saw against Villa, was 4-1-4-1. 4-1-4-1, yeah.
So you're going to go 4-4-2?
Yes.
Okay.
What, are you going to... Why?
Just intrigued to see who you play. All right.
All right.
Let us know in the comments.
Why?
Guys,
Would you not have gone with a 4-4-2, or would you?
Jimbo's already saying 4-4-2 with Balogun and Martinelli up front. Mukil saying 3-4-3, counter-attack Leeds. They're wide open as always. Henry saying Leno's a cup keeper, which brings me on to your goalkeeper. Who are you picking?
Right. I know it's a shock. I'm going to go with Ramsdale.
You're going with Ramsdale?
I'm going to go with Ramsdale. I know it's a shock. I know everyone's going to be screaming Leno.
I thought we'd argue on this, but I didn't know you've actually gone for Ramsdale.
I've gone for Ramsdale, James. You can debate it. People in the comments as well, you let me know. I think Ramsdale, I think he deserves to keep his shirt. And I know people are going to say, well, Leno...
Does he not deserve a rest?
He's a goalkeeper, James. He's a goalkeeper. He doesn't do much in...
Why don't you just let him relax?
No. Ramsdale, he's said in this week in the news, he's like, I want to be England's number one very soon. He's very competitive. He's very ambitious to basically make a big name for himself. I don't see why he needs to rest. Yes.
You know Leno's still a good goalkeeper.
I am not...
I know he's not... What Ramsdale's been doing of late, distribution, claiming, high claims into the air, all that, the passion, that's all great. But Leno's still a good goalkeeper.
I'm not denying the fact that he's
So why aren't you playing him?
Because you just said something there. He's very good at distribution, quick distribution. I think the style of play that Arteta's trying to implement works with Ramsdale in this 4-4-2. I don't think... There's no hate for me with Leno, you know. I like Leno. Yeah?
Are you sure?
I do, bro.
You're denying him. He's a cup keeper, and you're denying him the cup game.
I don't think he wants to be a cup keeper.
I think he's got absolutely no interest in being a cup keeper.
I don't think he cares about that.
I do agree with that.
I really do. Like the whole Martinez thing as well. When we had him and Martinez was the cup keeper, Leno, he's confidently was like, no, I'm the main keeper, and I think him getting that title as a cup keeper, he won't like that. I think Ramsdale should keep his place. You can disagree. Are you with me?
I'm not saying you should be making decisions on sentiment in football, but if Ramsdale goes up for a ball, lands on his back bad, and he's out for a few weeks, are we not thinking, why did we risk him for this?
How often does that happen? For me, rarely ever.
Sure, but injuries happen.
Correct.
And we've got a more than good enough goalkeeper for this competition. More than good enough. Leno's a Premier League goalkeeper. He was just not in great form. Started the season okay. He's a very good shot stopper. I know people say, well, obviously every goalkeeper. It's not like Leno would make saves that a lot of keepers wouldn't. I think he's good enough for this.
Okay. Well, people are arguing in the chat. They say no one's with me. So. You can put Leno in if you want. I've chosen Ramsdale. If you wanna overrule it, I can be understanding on that one. But there's not really anyone else I can really be understanding.
Sends a message to Ramsdale, doesn't it? You know, you better keep performing because if Leno does great.
Well, so if Leno does great, if
Leno comes in, keeps doing well, like Ramsdale knows he's got to...
That's kind of how Ramsdale kept it. So he came in the cup game, then he continued his form, got a few clean sheets, and the Burnleys and Norwich. So that's when he kept his shirts. But I think Ramsdale doesn't need to be rested. I really don't. But hey, up to you. Let me know. Leno, Ramsdale.
Let us know in the comment section. All right, let's get through the back four. Right back, who are you going for?
I've gone Cedric. It's a long time since we've seen him. I think it's only right. Tomiyasu.
Not Chambers? No,
I've not been a fan.
I like Cedric. No, go on, give us your reason.
No, for me, Cedric is the second best right back at the club.
I agree with that.
So that's it really. That's my full stop on that, my bro. Tomiyasu, Cedric.
But if you're saying you're going for the 4-4-2 because you want to say to the players, like, we've got something that's worked, let's build on it, let's keep going with it, let's get familiar with it, then isn't Chambers the most like-for-like fullback at the club to Tomiyasu?
No.
Why not?
I disagree. I think the only thing like-for-like for me is their height. I think Cedric is a better on the ball. I think he attacks better than Chambers in my opinion. And yeah, I prefer Cedric.
But Cedric and Tomiyasu?
Yeah, I know, but the Cedric and...
Sorry, Chambers and Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
Isn't Chambers more similar to Tomiyasu?
No, I said no. The only similarity for me is their height. I think the way Cedric...
I disagree. They're both. Yes, their height. Yes, they're more aerially dominant than.
Then obviously Cedric is.
Than Cedric and whoever, when Bellerin was here and Maitland-Niles, but they're both almost centre backs that can play right back. They're kind of they occupy those kind of more infield spaces more comfortably than Cedric and Bellerin did. Like, I love Cedric, but I don't know. I think if you're saying I want us to be working on the plan that did so well against Villa, then Chambers is the natural heir to Tomiyasu for that.
Interesting. I still
No?
stick with Cedric. No, I like the way. I'm going to put Cedric over him every time. You know, like I just said there, for me, he's the second best right back over Tomiyasu. Over Tomiyasu. So for me, Cedric, he has a better style of play.
Kingsley says Tomiyasu is way taller than Chambers. I don't think he is way taller.
No.
Yeah, Henry says Chambers was bad at City. Yeah, but who wasn't? I think it would be interesting. I like Cedric. If he plays, I have no problem.
Yeah, I'd put Cedric in. I don't know if you want to. You put Cedric in there. We're gonna go with that.
Well, we've gone for yours. This is your 11, so yeah.
So you're just here to.
I'm just here
to ruffle feathers.
I'm just here to see if that's what you actually want.
No, it definitely
I'm just here
is.
to,
No,
yeah.
Cedric every time over Chambers. I think I'd go with that for most games.
Centre backs?
Ben White and Pablo Marie.
Ben White and Mari. Okay. Why rotate one and not the other?
That's a great question. No, Ben White for me. He had a great game against Villa. I still want to see more of him. I think I see very much Gabriel as a leader, right? Anytime he's partnered with someone, for me, he's been able to control that back line, been very dominant. So for me, I want to see more of that from Ben White. I want to see how Ben White and Pablo Marie work together. Can Ben White be more of the leader? I still think when Pablo Marie plays alongside him, he might lead the way more than Ben White, but I want to see that from him. So I want to see more of Ben White. That's why I put him in there instead of Gabriel as well. And I also think height for height as well. Ben White and Marie, very tall. They're going to win the aerial battles. I think Leeds are only going to cause us problems from either the press, from us making a mistake at the back, from a goal kick, or aerially in set pieces. So for me, those two go in.
Okay. No, I'll be honest. I'm with you on this. My thinking was, I don't think you want to it's still Premier League opposition. I don't think you want to completely alternate the centre backs. But the thing with Gabriel, obviously he came back in for Norwich, having come off a medium-term injury. And Mari was good last season. I think it's fine to bring Mari in alongside White, but I wouldn't be just chucking Mari and Holding in and saying, it's just the Carabao Cup. I would, yeah.
Give me an order quickly. Centre backs, 1 to 5 or 4. I think it's 4. Who's your best right now? Down to, remember we did this at the end of last season? Let's do it right now. So
last season we controversially said that Gabriel and Louise were the best two, with Holding and Mari after.
And we got
torn a new one for it. I think everyone learnt that we were right. Gabriel's our best centre back. White closely behind, Mari and then Holding. Yeah.
Just have to check
Yeah, that's what I'd go for. It's a good 4.
Okay.
Left back, who are you going for?
Tavares.
You keeping him in?
Yeah, I can get criticised.
What if Tierney's fit? I'm
still keeping Tavares in there. I'm going to get criticised for this. I understand that. But defensively, I still have question marks over Tavares. I really do. I still think he is young and he is quite inexperienced. But going forward, phenomenal.
Can I ask you why are you worried about him?
Do you know what? I think it's just the eye test. I know I'm not giving you guys the full breakdown, but when I'm watching him at the games, there's hesitancy in his defending at times, and yes, that can be playing for Arsenal. I understand that, but for me, I don't think he's 100% assured in his defending right now. Going forward, like I said, and his work rate and his ambition to press the ball and whatnot, fine. His recovery runs fine, but defending 1v1, many questions. The jury's still out. Basically, I'm waiting to see him against a very decent winger. And see how he handles it.
I'm yet to see him against a very good side, right. But I thought, in the few times I have seen him one-on-one defend, I've been quite impressed. Like, he's tall. I think he's 6 foot or taller even.
6 foot. I don't think he's taller than 6 foot. I think he's about 6 foot. You're right, because.
Okay,
we'll check it.
But I mean, hell, he looks tall. Obviously very athletic. I think one-on-one you struggle to get around him. If I'm ever going to have a worry, it might be positionally and stuff. But I've not seen anything to suggest I should be worried about that yet. Okay. But okay, Tavares stays in. Let's build your midfield. Who's on the right? Pepe comes in for you.
Yeah, I could have put him on the left. I think that's where he plays best. But Pepe, I've got to see him more. I've been critical of Pepe. I feel bad him not being involved too much. I don't know. I don't think he's ready to play being a starting 11. But I think it's time to see him cup competition. I know we spoke about Lennon not want to be a cup goalkeeper, but for me, Pepe thrives in cup competitions. Bring him in.
No Saka.
Rest him, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, got to rest Saka.
I think Saka, yes, it's time for the rest. Okay, who are you going in midfield?
In midfield, I've got Odegaard and Partey.
Oh, let me put Odegaard on the left of those two. So you got Partey and Odegaard.
Different. Odegaard obviously didn't start against Villa. Right decision, by the way, which is interesting. I think him coming out the side bettered us, but I really like Martin Odegaard. So this is what I have conflict in myself here. I think he's a very good player. He brings a lot to the side, but everything flowed so well with him out the side on Friday. So I feel like, the only time for him to play would be in this cup competition on Tuesday. Maybe able to earn his place back in to the starting 11. Partey, just a mature head in there.
Yeah.
People are going to say rest him. I fully understand that, but I'd like to have a bit of seniority within the side. So that's why I've chosen Partey in there.
I can understand bringing Odegaard in. I think this is the kind of game he needs against an open side. The stakes are fairly low, really. I mean, I know if we lose, everyone will be really, really disappointed. Don't get me wrong, I'll be one of them. I'll be really disappointed if we lose. But it's not season over if we lose this game. It's not humiliating unless the score dictates it is. Because ultimately it's still the early rounds of the Carabao Cup. So I'd be playing Odegaard, but Partey...
Who would you play instead? El Neni?
I just think Partey started the Wimbledon game, didn't he, to get some minutes. El Neni, Lokonga, Maitland-Niles, take your pick, one of them. Because the one thing I don't want is Partey picking up a really silly ankle injury because a Leeds player just crushed into him.
No, this argument.
The goalkeeper one I understood.
No, this
but,
argument has a lot of legs.
Yeah.
To be honest, I forgot about Maitland-Niles recently being introduced into the midfield quite a lot, off the bench. I don't think he'll be too angry Maitland-Niles to be involved in the midfield as well, starting. So that's someone I would probably put in there alongside Odegaard. I don't know about Erneni. Lokonga I would save as well. He worked his absolute socks off on Friday. So for me, I think the Maitland-Niles argument is quite strong. Who would you change Partey for, James, if you had your choice? Would it be Maitland-Niles? Would it be El Neni?
Change Partey? You should ask me the whole team. I'll change them all.
Whoa!
No, I'm joking, relax. For me, between Lokonga, Maitland-Niles and El Neni, you pick a two there, and then Odegaard would play as a 10 for me. I don't know if there's too much right or wrong. What I don't want to see is players who don't have a future at the club, players who can't contribute now,
100%.
just being thrown in for the sake of game time. And I know it sounds really, really bad. I don't mean to be rude, but I think we know Rob Holding becomes 5th choice when Saliba comes in next season. So, Kolasinac.
Yeah.
Nketiah, who scored and did really well against Wimbledon, but if they're not on the bench and they're not getting game times, that's why I just want the rotation to be smart.
So
I like the players you've got out here, but people might say, well, doesn't El Neni fall into that category? Yeah, maybe, and that's fair. Well, almost definitely. I might just make an exception to the rule for El Neni.
But does he, when Xhaka's back, so then there's Xhaka, Partey, Maitland-Niles and Lokonga, does El Neni fall into a future Arsenal midfield?
Yeah, no, probably not.
Right, so...
Who are you going for on the left? Because I've got to be honest, central midfield's hard.
Yeah, okay.
You're going for on the left?
Martinelli.
All right.
I think that's only right. I don't really say too much. I don't say too much about Martinelli. It's only right. He's been given 8 minutes every now and then, 2 minutes. I actually got 1 minute against Villa. Everyone's screaming out for him. I don't think he's much of a risk. I know it feels like Arteta doesn't trust him, just for the minutes he gives him. Obviously, there's not loads of grounds for that, but from what we see as a fan base, everyone screams out for him. We know his capabilities, works hard, presses the ball down, actually has great... He's good on the ball as well, has good qualities. Doesn't get enough game time. I think this is the perfect game. Tuesday night. Prove yourself. Keep the shirt. So yeah, Martinelli there, and then the two up top. Aubameyang and Balogun, unless you want to argue the Martinelli one.
No, I'm with you on Martinelli, so...
Okay. This is where it gets techie.
Aubameyang and Balogun.
It could have been Lacazette and Balogun. I'm going to be honest.
I'm cool with Balogun getting minutes tomorrow.
It has to be Balogun. It's the Aubameyang and Lacazette where there's a bit of controversy of who fits in, who goes there. It's a tough one. I struggled with that one. I'm going to be honest.
I'm taking Balogun on the bench and I'm playing Aubameyang. I'm playing Aubameyang because He's in form.
Wow.
Keep him in form. He's not playing midweek games. He's not injury prone in the way Saka is or Partey is, or Saka's not really injury prone to be fair. But the way Partey is or Tierney is, or obviously Gabriel with the injury he had at the beginning of the season. He doesn't need a rest like Saka does. I'm starting Aubameyang. I think he'd be good to go for this. And I think I know I'm advocating for not playing Thomas Partey, but I think we need to have some kind of experienced spine. And so for me, if that was Aubameyang, El Neni, White and Leno, yeah, it's not as good as what we've seen the last couple of weeks playing week in, week out in the Premier League, but you've got to say there's enough quality there.
Yeah. So you're saying to me, you just said there, Aubameyang on and Balogun on the bench, but I'm obviously doing a 4-4-2. You're doing a 4-2-3-1.
Odegaard would move up to, I mean, we can do it here. Let's go.
Yeah, do your team.
4-2-3-1.
And while people are saying, a lot of people are saying, Cecil, what you on, what you smoking, blah, 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 whatever. For me, that's a strong enough side to get the job done. For me, not too many risks, bar Partey, which I probably would change and maybe put a Maitland-Niles in there, but for me, that's a strong enough side to get the job done. What do you guys expect? Do you expect to put the same 11 out that we play against Aston Villa? Probably not.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I want to rotate. And James hit the nail on the head, as he always does. It's the players that have a future at the club.
Thank you.
That I want to see. That's what I want to see. If we're going to do a rotation, it needs to be players that you want to utilise throughout the season. So that's why those players are in there. For me, those players have a future at the club, and we haven't over-rotated too much. That is so crazy that I'm worried. So that.
I think I get rid of. There we go. Leno's in. I think Leno comes in for me. Mm-hmm. I think El Neni for a degree of stability and let Maitland-Niles get forward, and then Pepe, Odegaard, Martinez behind Aubameyang. I think that for me would be managing the risk.
And El Neni.
Yeah, like you could play Lokonga again. I wouldn't have a problem with that if it was Maitland-Niles on the bench and Lokonga came in. But that would feel really harsh on Ainsley. So I wouldn't mind if it was. I'll just put Balogun in midfield. Lol. What? Oh, there he is. Lokonga. Let us know in the comments, guys. Let us know. We're coming towards the end of the show. But yeah, I'm going for something like this. A little bit of stability with El Neni. A little bit of kind of our first choice players with White in there, Odegaard, Aubameyang. But yeah, I'm going for something around that.
Okay.
What, were you looking at me weird?
No, this is a nice debate show. I did enjoy this. I mean, I thought you was going to really just... I mean, he called me stupid in the first 10 minutes, but apart from... Oh, he said it's silly, but I was silly, but that's fine.
No, I said it was a silly question.
Yeah, I know, but I'm quite happy.
But I put it in the show plan, so it's not your fault. It was my question.
That's true. But your lineup's not too different to mine. Obviously, of course, it's a different formation, but yeah, no, I wouldn't be angry at either side's going out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. They both get the job done for me. It's not heavily rotated. I wouldn't criticise Arteta too much. Whether he'll go with something completely different, I don't know. Kolasinac, we might see Kolasinac tomorrow because that's just how Arteta moves. But before we move on from this 11s, guys, let us know if you agree or who you would have. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Yeah.
And then I know we can't comment towards the end, but Saliba.
Yeah, there's a little bit. Obviously, we haven't done news day tonight, so we've done this live show, but we will bring some news from the day. As we kind of leave to move on to that, don't forget to check out AFTV VIP. Download it on your phone, and yeah. Check out all the exclusive content, all that.
But Saliba up against Mbappe, Messi as well, and just honestly, people sometimes compare.
So you saw that tackle, guys? Did you? The
the last
Mbappe through ball.
Oh my lord!
He's quality, and based on nothing.
Yeah,
almost.
I was gonna say,
based on very little time watching him. Like even the bits I've seen, you could tell he's a quality defender. You know, athletically gifted, very good on the ball. And very experienced for his age. I think Marseille playing with Jorge Sampaoli is great for him. And you know, Mbappe through on goal, one of probably the hardest player in the world to stop in that position, because when you're talking raw pace, his skill, his ability to finish. Yeah, I struggle to think of anyone harder to stop in that situation.
Definitely.
And Saliba gets back and gets a great tackle, a tackle that didn't look on to me at one point. And
could have been given as a foul. It was from behind as well. Obviously, he got the ball, so it was.
I think he was behind, but it's the reach like around the leg to kind of
Yeah, it was nice.
He did well. I look forward to having him back next season.
That's the question really. When he comes back, does he, because it's a different league than the Premier League, does he go straight in? Does it take time for him to come off the bench? I mean, the defence right now are solid. We can't really argue right now, Gabriel and Ben White. So it'd be interesting. I know we're speaking a bit ahead of the game right now, a bit looking into the future, but when he comes back, I'm going to be intrigued to see how
It's nights like tonight he will play. Sorry, it's nights like tomorrow night against Leeds he will play, right, unless White or Gabriel aren't at it. And then that's the beauty of it. That's what we want. We want him to come back, hopefully sign a new deal because they'll only have 2 years left, and we want him to be challenging White and Gabriel. We want to, maybe in a week where you're playing Villa at home and Palace at home in the same week, maybe you rotate one of them. Because look at Liverpool, Konate started out of nowhere.
It's true.
Out of nowhere, Konate came in.
And he was solid as well.
He was brilliant. Yeah. So if you've got the quality, the manager will find the ways to rotate in even the biggest games, because you know that what's bigger. I mean, group stage game against Atletico Madrid, Old Trafford. How are you judging that? Well, if you've got the quality, it doesn't matter. You trust them all to just come in and do a job. So I think that's hopefully what Saliba will bring us next season.
Okay. Do you want to read that last that super chat there, just on the screen quickly?
Yeah. Way's view says he's going for Leno, a back four of Cedric, Rob Holding, Mari and Nuno Tavares. He's going for Maitland-Niles and Lokonga in midfield, Pepe, Odegaard and Martinelli with Lacazette up front. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Hopefully Lacazette is fit. Yeah. We'll find out more by tomorrow. But yeah, and just the only other bit of news from the day, Mikel Arteta did an interview. It's come out on all Arsenal social platforms, probably on YouTube. Really praising of Aubameyang's work rate. Just talking about how he sets the tone, how important he is. Go check that out. A little picture came up this morning, didn't it, of you and the Arsenal captain? Yeah. Saw that on the timeline.
Thanks. Yeah, no, that's cool. We'll talk more about that.
Right. We're not learning anything new today.
No, I'll save it for maybe tomorrow's show, and I'll build up.
Maybe an Inside AFTV.
Maybe an Inside AFTV. Maybe on the build up, because obviously we're running out of time on the show. Nobody cares, Cecil. And nobody cares, according to Josh. But thank you, everyone, for watching. Before we go, score prediction for tomorrow.
Forget we do this on the warm-up. 2-0 Arsenal. I don't think it'll be anything overwhelming, but we should get the job done. Fingers crossed. And I said it earlier, I'll reiterate, I'll be really annoyed if we don't get through. Like, I know we just had this big debate, how much does it matter, but I'll be really annoyed if we get knocked out. There's a chance at a trophy, let's go get it.
Okay, I'm going to go with 4-1.
Oh wow, okay.
I know, it's been an exciting weekend. I'm going to want to carry on this spirit of plenty of goals being scored.
Gatto's gone for 5-2.
There you go, high scoring games. Thank you all for watching this live edition of the warm up. Make sure you check out the build up and other various shows around the match day, like the watch along starting 11 tomorrow. For Danger Man and Spotlight on, and all of James's analysis on Leeds and the breakdowns that will come to you tomorrow on the build up. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe. And we never do this. Turn on the notification bell. Why? Just do it. Thank you for watching.
What? Just
see you next time on the warm up.
Bloody hell.